Well, my guest this morning is Andrew Smith, and we're going to call him Andy. And Andy's come in to talk about all kinds of things, but mainly about film. So it's really lovely to have you in this morning, Andy. Did you find the place okay?
Yeah, no, it was easy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Okay, so let's start off. We've got to find out a little bit about you. Where'd you go to school?
I went to school here in Perth, so I went to Winthrop Primary and Somerville Baptist College, which is now Kennedy Baptist College.
Okay, so we have to form a connection now between you going to primary and high school and ending up in film. So anything happened at primary school to fuel that ambition?
I don't know about primary school, but in high school I had a great teacher who taught me about film and sort of opened my eyes in that sense. And after high school I didn't do anything for a little while in film, and I think I watched some films in high school and sort of just out of high school. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of them, the Jackass films.
Oh,
I think
no,
I'd always
no,
watch films with a set... Don't say those words, sorry.
No, I'm just laughing because they're really funny films and they're very original. But let's go back a bit. Who was the teacher who inspired you? We've got to give him a
Mr.
name.
Peter Fallon.
Oh, fantastic.
He was a great teacher. I think he's teaching in Mandurah at the moment. But yeah, definitely a great guy and opened my eyes to a great world of film. And I've always enjoyed film. I've always enjoyed sort of the idea of story writing and making up stories and just sharing people's stories.
Fantastic. So then you discovered at the tender age of 14, you discovered Jackass films?
A bit older than about 17. But what they taught me, and I really respect those guys, is they sort of put out the message of it doesn't need to be slick. You can actually come in at whatever level you're at, and their production value was so poor. But they still managed to get this message across of fun and whatever they were trying to do, and it just took the world by storm. And I went, wow, you can actually, you don't need all the best equipment, you don't need all the you can actually just come in at whatever your level is. And as long as your intentions are pure, I guess, you can do something great. You can change the world.
So you don't need a $10 million budget. You can just have a handheld camera, and with all the computing, editing programs that are available today, you can knock out something and get it out there.
I keep telling anyone, if you want to make a film, nothing's stopping you now. The only thing that's stopping you is you, because it'll take you a bit of time to do it. It'll take a lot of effort to do it, take a lot of passion to do it. But anybody, if it's your dream, you can do it.
Fantastic. So you didn't go the traditional route of many young people, which is leave school and then head off to university. What happened after school?
I worked a little while. I worked at a grocery store, and
go on, give them a plug.
I won't. No, but working at this grocery store, it was really, I look at it with a lot of joy, because one of the things it did was it forced me to go, all right, do I want to actually be here, or do I want to, what is my dream? Do I want to chase that dream? It's not a bad thing to work in a grocery store. I hated it. But
so no plug for that store.
No, but it was great, because in that sense I was at a crossroads where I actually went, do I want to chase this? So I quit and went to film school. And
which school did you go to?
I went to the SA Institute, or SA Quantum. They used to be on Bennett Street. Now I think they're on Rose Street in Northbridge. Mm-hmm. Great school. They do audio engineering, they do film, and they do 3D animation or game design.
Fantastic. Andy, could I get you just to move your microphone just a little bit closer? Thank you.
Sure.
Lovely. Okay, so that school kind of taught you a few tricks?
Yeah, I got to study under Burley Smith. He's the guy that runs film over there, and a great encyclopedia kind of knowledge of film, and just a passion to get things done. Sort of that great attitude of, all right, I know I'm busy, but I still need to get things done, and let's push ourselves and see how great a product we can make. And he was always encouraging us to, even in our assignments, it's like, all right, well, here's what's required of the assignment, but why not go above and beyond, see what you can create.
Fantastic. So that's really the early bit, and you went to that SAE Institute, and that kind of validated the fact that you're in the right spot?
Hopefully.
Okay, then. Is there any particular music which kind of captures that early phase of your life?
Yeah, well, I got to pick a few songs, and I picked a song right now. A documentary I very recently watched about the National called Mistaken for Strangers, and it was beautiful. It was a documentary made by the bandmate's brother, and he really struggles the whole time to make this documentary. It's quite comical, and this is a song that just plays right as everything goes really pear-shaped for the guy, and it just sort of really, I thought, just captures how he felt at that moment.
Okay, here we go, the joys of making documentaries. My guest this morning is filmmaker Andy Smith, and that was his first choice. Who was that, Andy? What's that all about?
That was Vanderlyle, Crybaby, Geeks by The National. They're a band out of New York City, and I picked that one because it featured on a documentary about the band, Mistaken for Strangers, which is directed by one of the bandmates' brothers, and it just was a great example of, the film itself is a great example of things going wrong in a film. And that song just, as everything goes wrong for the director, that song sort of played, and it just always sticks out to me as, oh my gosh, that actually is how you feel when everything's going wrong. Just if that music could play, you'd be happy. It would just make sense.
So, I guess things have gone wrong. We were chatting, and you'd been to, I guess, well, let's call it film school, and after film school, what happened then?
I worked for several years at a video production company out of Perth, a really good video production company called ZOLA Media, and we got to make a lot of fishing shows, lifestyle television, and all the other stuff you make, all the corporate videos and television commercials. But that was a great time. I got to learn a lot.
So that was hard-nosed practical experience?
Yeah, it was great. We got to do everything, video editing and cinematography and all the good stuff. You know, lots of great times, lots of buckle down. Why is everything so hard times?
Yeah. So, but underneath all that, you still had the ambition to make your own film. So eventually you started to move on to create your own film.
Well, at one stage, yeah, while I was working for that production company, I felt it was about time I make my own feature-length film, and I thought, why not? I'm only a certain age for a certain amount, well, 1 year. And so I quit there one Christmas.
So you actually quit your job?
Yeah, one Christmas, went away for holidays and didn't come back. And I just spent that year following a community group and trying to tell their story and trying to, create my first film.
Okay, so we're now moving on to talking about Andy's first feature-length film. I forgot to tell you that Andy's actually married, so he's got
Cassie.
Yeah, good morning, Cassie, and a lot of support there. So quit his job, married man, quit his job, leapt in. Okay, Andy's film is called Love Thy Neighbour, and shall I play the trailer? What do you think?
Yeah, sure, if you want to.
Okay. Let's click on this thing, because we've got one of those internet clickety things, and see how we go. And it's loading up.
I don't want my existence to be purely about me. I want to benefit someone in this world. I want to leave this world one day and have someone be like, wow, she actually impacted my life.
My absolute hate of a comment is, you've got to look after number one, and my comment back is always, well, if you're always looking after number one and I'm always looking after number one, then who's looking after each other? And where does the love come into that, and how do we help other people? Or that just doesn't make sense to me.
It'd be a pretty dull place if people weren't out there trying to help you.
Yeah, it's a lot of the time you're on your own, you know, got to do everything yourself. But the community needs to know that it's a community, and if we work together, things can be a lot easier.
So there we go, the trailer from Andy's first feature-length film, Love Thy Neighbour. Andy, you've got some music which you're going to play kind of associated with that film, so I'll leave it to you when you want to play that, but maybe we kick off with how you got started on the film and the background to it.
Yeah, I should say that trailer normally has vision attached to it, so it's not exactly a radio ad. But yeah, we started. We knew between my wife and I that we're like, all right, next year we're making our first feature. That's just the end deal. And we got approached with someone pitched us this idea of what they were going to do, this community project. They wanted to get a few hundred people together to put a few thousand hours of community service into the city of Coburn. Just the whole idea was to love on people, and we went, we need to follow that. So we knew that was going to be our project, and yeah, they just.
So you recognise this as the thing that you wanted to do?
Well, I've been part of a lot of great projects in my life, and one of the things I really didn't like at the end was, after the project was over, after the good was done, the the story of it kind of disappeared very quickly. Unless you were directly involved, you didn't really know, and you couldn't really be inspired by it later. So I said, all right, well, let's actually see what can happen if we fight. And this was a rather large event. A lot of people scoffed at the girl when she pitched it to them. I remember we went to a community meeting, sort of a Friends of the Town type community meeting, and they went, I don't think that's going to work. And spoiler alert, it did. But yeah, we just went, we want to follow you just to see what we can actually accomplish by following this story right. And yeah, we followed it. We followed it throughout the year, and then afterwards we got everyone's stories involved.
And the end result, I have to say, listeners, is that it's now showing at 4 international film festivals.
Well, it's already shown. So right now we've got it through the festivals, and it's going to be playing next year as part of programming on the Australian Christian Channel on Foxtel. But we've also made it available for download and streaming for free from my website, andysmithfilm.com.
So it's Andy, A-N-D-Y, Smith Film.
Yep.
All one word, andysmithfilm.com. Just ring the station if you missed that.
And we did that just because we wanted everyone to have an opportunity to watch this. We didn't want a thing like cost or any other thing just stopping you guys, so we thought, let's do it. But yeah, we've got a song right now which is by a friend of ours. It's that we got to end our film with, and we're very lucky that we got to use it, so yeah, we'll play it this morning.
So original music for an original film. How good's that? Radio Fremantle 107.9, and my guest this morning is Andy Smith, young filmmaker. He's just made his first feature-length film. So Andy, that song I think you said was played at the conclusion of the film. So who was it? What's that lovely song? What's it about?
That was Pursuit by ZOLA. They're a band that's unfortunately no longer with us anymore, but they were nice enough to let me use a couple of their songs in my film, and yeah, that song is right at the end and plays over the ending and the credits, and I was just so happy they let me use it. Just finished it so well, and yeah, any chance I get to plug a band I really enjoy.
Lovely.
I like to.
So tell us a little bit more about the film.
Yeah, so we followed a community group as they put on a giant community project. It was something like they set out with a goal of about 300 volunteers to put about 1,500 man-hours of volunteer service into the community, and it was a whole bunch of different projects. Some of them, they wanted to do a community fair with rides and circus stuff and free haircuts all day during that fair, and did about 6 or so community sort of house and yard clean-up renos.
And you followed this all by yourself with one camera?
No, I was so lucky to find, I had about 10 people on my, 8 to 10 people, including myself, and we filmed it all. And yeah, just the local Perth film scene, I think I asked about 15 people, and of that, most of them went, yes, we will give you a day of our time.
Fantastic. All volunteers, I guess.
All volunteer, yeah. Very, very low-budget film.
And who put it together? Who did the editing? And
I personally edited it. I had a friend come in right at the end, Kim Smithman, who's a great editor, and he helped me just finish it, but the bulk of the story I put it together myself, so it was a year-long
pretty much an Andy Smith project.
Yeah, I loved it.
And it's worked out really well. Did you have any trouble getting it promoted or shown at festivals?
We got in a few. So we got in about 3 or 4 festivals, which we were happy with. We entered in a few more, and for whatever reason they didn't want it, and we won a few awards. We were happy with that. I think the only thing I didn't like about the festivals was it meant that it could only be seen by a small group of people. And yeah, that's one of the reasons we put
Foxtel will fix that.
Exactly, and that's one of the reasons why we put it online for free download, because we want anyone who is interested in this film to be able to watch it.
Lovely. I think if you wish to download it, it's at andysmithfilm.com, and the film is called Love Thy Neighbour. Now, Andy, we've got one more song to play, and I think it's a Kinks song, which really is my era. So what's a Kinks song doing with a bloke like you?
It's from one of my favourite films, The Darjeeling Limited by Wes Anderson. It's at the conclusion, a pivotal moment in the film, and it's just always stuck out to me as I got to thank Wes Anderson for getting me onto the Kinks. I don't think it would happen otherwise, but yeah, it just happens, and it's such a great moment in the film that This song's always stuck out to me.
Yeah, Wes Anderson's got a lot to answer for. Okay, my guest this morning, and thanks for coming in, has been Andy Smith, who's made a full feature-length film, Love Thy Neighbour. Download it, have a look at it, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Thanks, Andy. See you later.
Thanks for having me.